Welcome back. 1991 Prelude SI, and I have an annoying problem with this. It's been doing this since I got this car. Watch the door. How much it drops down. Gotta slam it to get it to close. It's got worn out hinge pins or bushings, either one. It's not a lot of play, but just enough to make it annoying every time you sit in the car trying to close it. So we're going to remedy that today. I found a hinge pin kit with bushings. Hopefully this will be what we need. All right, let's see where the play is, in the bottom or the top. Probably both. All right, dude, get jiggly with it. Come on. Definitely the bottom. Try the top some more. Yeah. Okie dokie. Now I need to decide how I want to do this. I might be able to drive the pin out and the upper one down. The lower one, probably not so much, because it's got a severe curve in the door here to try to get up there and pop that out. So we'll probably unbolt this from the door. And if I could drive the pin out of the top one, this way I won't lose the adjustment here. We could slide it back in and then push the pin back in up from the bottom. If worst comes to worst, we'll just have to take all the bolts out over here and readjust everything to get it back to where we want. Now, let's see how it goes. And if the door is coming off 100%, I need to get the wire unplugged. So I believe there's a plug inside here. So I'm going to pull this panel off. Got to take off a few screws here on the kick plate, and this should pop out, and I could take a peek underneath there and see if I could find the other end of the plug. All right, with the sill plate out of the way, could work on getting this off. There is a push clip on the top over here, and there is a long clip that's pushed through the carpet down on the bottom. This one's kind of a pain to get. You kind of jiggle it around, and then once you kind of get it open, you could leave the hood release there. Just be careful with it. You kind of drop this down, and then you could pry that out. So now we can get into this little cavity over here and look for the plug for the door. Peel this back, and it's down in here. Might pop that off over here to get a little more space. I think we will do that. With that popped out, we're able to pull out and get to our plugs over here. We'll get these unplugged. There's the thing you got to push on here. There's grease all over it, so it's nice and slippery. The other one, that's a little push there. So now we can get those ready to pop out. We will loosen up the little grommet over here so the plugs can come out. All right. We got that harness, little cover, or whatever you want to call it, grommet, popped loose. I'm going to leave that hanging there for now. The plug should come right out. I want to put some tape on the outside of the door so we don't bump into it by accident, and on the fender edge. And then we are going to pop this pin out and then attempt to push that top pin out. We'll have a jack holding it up, and a little assistance from Junior out here helping to do this. A little bit of painter's tape to cover up any edges, and a jack with a towel taped to it. I got the retaining clip off the top hinge and spent 5 minutes looking for it after it fell on the floor. So now I'm going to try to see if I can knock that one down. If it does not want to come out, then I will unbolt the bolts right there. All right, we got the pin knocked out from the door check. We pulled out all of the wiring now. Have it hanging right out of the way. We're going to knock the top pin down. We have the bottom bolts loose. We have a jack ready over here to hold it up, and I have Junior assisting over here. So this is all taped on. Got to kind of find the center of the door where it's going to be weighted. I want to guess it's going to be around here. This is a very heavy door. We got all the seat belts and everything in the outside over here, so it's going to be heavier on that side. All right, we're going to pull the 2 bolts out from the bottom over there, and then we will knock the top pin out and down and slide the door off. You're going to keep the door from wanting to tip this way or that way. It's got to basically stay right where it is.
All right.
I'll hold what I can hold. The 2 bottom bolts are out. There's nothing holding the bottom of the door. Now we work on the top pin. Feel it going down. Give the jack a tiny push up. Just give it a little bit. That's good. Okay.
Should I be putting this?
I always wanted a Honda Jeep. The doors come off. I got it sitting on the side right now. Now, work on the bushings here. They're stuck in the door. This pin will be able to get out now from the bottom a little bit better. Couldn't get the little clip off that's down on the bottom. I'm going to work on this one first. Now you got a good idea of how much slop was in this. So I got the little clip off of there now, and I can drive this pin out. Spent a lot of time trying to knock that pin out and gave up and just unbolted it. The pin is actually frozen to the bushings in here, the whole thing. The pin is moving and rotating with the hinge, so no way to want to knock it out. We're gonna have to cut it out. Oh joy. Upside down in the vise is the only way I was able to get it out. Compare the thickness of the bushing. Look how thick the new one is. No good, it won't fit back in. So I had to sand it down with a air grinder and a vise. So we're gonna have to do that to all of these bushings to get them to fit inside. Fun. Knocked out that bushing right there, same thing. Different thicknesses. So we'll have to grind it smoother and smaller. Sand it down. Just another day grinding away. Well, the bushings that come with this kit are not 100% right. Only the bottom bushing here is correct. The replacement one that comes for this is too small. It's got it wandering around. So now we got to come up with something to fix this lower hinge to keep that slop out of there. I got to put something around the bushing or find a different bushing, which I know I don't have. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I got a piece of stainless steel. Actually, it was a case from a microwave oven that I was cutting up to make something else for it. So we sliced this down to make a little spacer for our bushing. We'll glue it in there when it goes in. All right, we put a little glue on there, wrapped it around, and then drove it through. So you could just see the stainless steel sticking out over there. Hope this works. Don't buy this bushing kit because it doesn't work. Okay, reassembled lower hinge. We're going to bolt it back in place and just try to line up all the paint lines that were on here before so we get it in the same spot. It should be pretty close. Hinge is where it's supposed to be, I hope. Still has a little bit of play in there, not as much as it did before. The other one we will slide in, put the pin up, and put the bolts in over here. See how it goes. Junior's waiting on the side to help. He's excited. got the pin in. I still got to put the clip on there yet. Do that soon. We got these snugged up in the location that they, hopefully where they were in last. So now we are going to try to carefully close the door and watch all the gaps. Peel off some of our tape over here. See what happened. Everything bolted back on. Door gap is okay. But is it better? A little bit better. It's still sprung. We're gonna have to adjust, I believe, that lower hinge. I'm gonna pull it up. So I gotta pull off the mud flap, pull out the inner skirt over there, and then reach in and get to those 12mm bolts to move the bottom hinge like out, so it'll raise the back of the door up a little bit more. We got our mud flap removed. We got a few clips removed from the inner skirt. And we're gonna reach inside here now and loosen up the 12mm bolts that we had off on the bottom hinge. The door is shut where it's supposed to be. Hopefully the hinge will kind of spring to the spot that it needs to be in, and then we will tighten it back up again. Loosen it and then tighten it. Second attempt. We got the jack underneath there with some rubber. Got a little bit of pressure on it now, pushing up on the back of the door, and we're going to loosen up the bolts on the bottom hinge, the ones down over here. After another 3 or 4 more attempts, we finally got it to about the best we're going to get. You'll see how it doesn't really drop down. It'll actually catch on the first latch. Still needs a little bit of a slam, but I could live with that. Seems to be like tight over in this area. How much jiggling will it do? A little bit, not much. Now we get to plug all this back in, cover all this stuff back up, and the last step is lube the hinges, which is probably something that was never done before. That's what led us to this problem. That's better. This was a whole lot of work. This kit really, it helped. Didn't exactly have everything that I needed in it, but we did use the pins and 2 bushings only. It was $8, so you get what you pay for. Now, next thing I need to do to this is this sun shield. It's got a big scratch running around through it here. Got to take it off and try to buff it out. Thank you for watching. As usual, thumbs up if you like, subscribe. Thanks again. It's just a little scratch, but turns into multiple scratches on this side. It's been annoying me for a while. I would replace it, but this is actually the dealer installed Honda one. And this car also has the dealer installed armrest, which is really hard to find. We'll be pulling this thing off next time and giving it a polish.